रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगा दी, ये रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगा दी, ये रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगा दी
बच्चों का नाम लगा के
नहीं वही है क्या? हाँ इसमें नॉट फॉर किड्स लिखना है, इट्स नॉट मेड फॉर किड्स।
तुम वैसे ही रखते हो ना थोड़ा से नहीं यही होता है नॉट फॉर किड्स होता है। It's not this time, I'm so glad it's for this. यहाँ भी बात नहीं करते तो क्या बोलना है? मुझे चलने तो मैच नहीं आता है, अभी तुरंत हो गया। तुरंत है कंटेंट में एडिट
रिमूव का ऑप्शन नहीं आ रहा, यही है
कंटेंट में जाकर के वीडियो में एडिट नहीं आता, यहीं से आता है वहाँ यार
ठीक है ना, करने के बाद कर दो फिलहाल तो ठीक है भाई। नाम शुरू हो गया ना सब कुछ, नाम पड़ जाए तो नेशनल नाम पड़ लेंगे। ठीक है ना, अपन यहीं से स्टार्ट ही करें ना।
इसको अरेंज करो क्या?
नहीं छोड़ो मेरे उसको, इसका फुल स्क्रीन कर दूँगा बस कर जाता है।
फुल स्क्रीन मैम कर लेती है, फुल स्क्रीन
हाँ मैम कर लेंगे सब चीज़ें। आप यही तो खाना खिलाओ, ठीक है, प्रॉब्लम नहीं है।
come almost to the end point, right? So we started in the month of April, right? At that time you were finding biology very lengthy, subjective, but I think now it is the best part, correct? And as you know, it has the maximum weightage and very easily you can score full marks in biology, right? It's that easy. So just you have to keep some tips in mind, right? And whatever you have studied, revise it thoroughly, fine? So let's see. You know the number of chapters, 5 chapters, right? And total marks is 30. Roughly if you divide, it's coming to 6 marks each. There can be slight variation, some topics may have some extra weightage, but even though every chapter will have the minimum weightage of 5 marks, right? So most of you find our environment very easy, fine, and life process quite lengthy, correct? And we feel life process is very, very important, fine. Our environment we just mostly take lightly, but remember, though it's a very small topic, but you are going to score 5 marks out of 30, right? So you have to focus on that also, because their questions are very evident. Very few questions are set and they are very predictable, you can say, right? So my suggestion is start with the R environment first, fine. Then go for heredity. Heredity also, the maximum portion has been deleted. Whatever is there, it is going to come for the exam. Mendelian's cross as well as sex determination. Then you can go for life process. Again, divide it topic wise. Then control and coordination, again divided into 3 parts. Nervous system, followed by control and coordination in plants, and control and coordination, that is endocrine part of human system. Then how do organisms reproduce, again divided into 3 parts. Divide into 3 parts, right? Fine. Again divide into 3 parts. Introductory part, fine. That will include sexual, asexual, right? Then reproduction in plants, followed by human reproduction. Clear to everybody, right? Easy? Now, types of question you all are aware. What type of questions? How to approach for the question paper? You will be getting reading time of 15 minutes. That is very, very crucial. Do not take it lightly, right? Spend full 15 minutes with full concentration, right? That is the time when you will evaluate the questions. You will find out the optional questions which you have to attend or which you have to leave. And moreover, you will have a glimpse of the entire question paper. Fine? So no need to panic. Read it very thoroughly. Even if you are finding some questions tricky, or no need to ponder over that. Just keep on reading. Fine? And it is a very decisive factor. Now, during reading time, wherever you come across anything like not, incorrect, just mark that with a point. Right? So because human mind is such that we read the correct options. So wherever it is not, incorrect options, that you have to be very, very particular. And there also you just decide amongst the optional where choice is given which question you are going to attempt. So make full use of the reading time, do not waste. Correct? With full concentration. Types of questions you all are aware. Which type of questions? Already told to you so many times, right? 1 mark questions which will comprise of MCQ and assertion and reasoning. While going for the assertion MCQs, right? If you are not knowing the correct answer, then also go for the elimination. First eliminate the very wrong answers, then like we say, 50-50, choose between them, and then go for the best option. Assertion and reason type, I will give you just one tip later on. Second comes the 2 mark question. They are categorized as, these instructions are given in your question papers, right? Very short answers. You have to sum up in around 30 to 50 words. They are 2 marks questions. Were you aware? You were aware of this? 3 marks question, where this is short answer type 2. The word limit can be 50, but you are just getting an idea how much to write, how much to elaborate. Correct? Then comes 5-mark question. Yes, they have to be elaborated, and they will be having the subparts also. Accordingly, 2 mark, 3 mark, subparts will be there. Nobody is going to give you the 5 marks question, describe this. No, always science. In science, there are subparts. 5-mark questions, word limit, or as per the subparts you will answer. Next comes the case-based or data-based questions. 4 marks, you will be given a case study or some data, and questions will be set up on that. Again, it will have the subparts. So no need to worry about the data. Read it very carefully. But the questions are pretty different from whatever is given in the case study. Right? That is based on your theory part. Clear? Everybody is clear with this? Now, some tip for assertion and reasoning question. Already told to you, first again a repetition. There will be 2 statements, assertion and reasoning. Students generally make mistake in this type of question. Assertion, like you can see, I have told you in the class how to answer this. Read the assertion and then use which word? Which word? You will read the assertion and then you will write because. Read the assertion and write because. For example, and just see the connection between the 2 statements. Left atrium receives oxygenated blood from pulmonary vein. Fine. Is it true or false? That you decide. Left atrium receives oxygenated blood from pulmonary vein because right atrium transfers the oxygenated blood to the right ventricle, which pumps the blood to the left for oxygenation. Now first decide, either both are correct. Both are correct. But is it the explanation? Right? Then again do one thing. Read the reason first and then write therefore. And then go for reading this assertion. Right atrium transfers deoxygenated blood to the right ventricle, which pumps it into the lungs for oxygenation. Therefore, is it making any sense?
Yeah.
What will be the answer put to this? B. Both assertion and reason are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. So what you have to do? Read the assertion and put because in your mind, and then read the reason, or read the reason and put therefore in your mind, and then read the assertion and see the connectivity or the connection between the 2 statements. Clear? Okay. One more we can take up. Assertion. When a bacterium divides into 2. It's again a board question. It's a P by Q. It's a P by Q. When a bacterium divides into 2 and the resultant into 2 bacteria divide again, the 4 bacteria are produced, which would be almost similar. Reason, DNA copying involves small accuracies in the reproduction process. What will be the answer to this? A. Almost similar, because, or if you put therefore also, then also the same thing. Okay, DNA copying involves small inaccuracies in the reproduction process. Therefore, right? Because it is almost similar, it is not identical. Correct? And why they are almost similar, not identical? Because there are small inaccuracies during DNA copying. And this inaccuracy leads to variation. Fine? So what will be the answer to this? A. Correct? You got the idea how to solve these type of questions? Now, coming to the next. Yes, come. So as I told you, we'll finish off this chapter first. It sounds very easy, but you are not supposed to lose any mark. R and Y. Quick revision and then the code. Then we'll move to the more complicated ones. So like environment, biotic and abiotic factors, very important to differentiate. You may be given a list of factors and find out which is biotic and which is abiotic, or simply you might be asked to differentiate between the 2, right, along with examples. So what you have to remember here, biotic means living, organisms. Bio always means living, so it will involve organisms, right, be it plant or animal. And abiotic means physical factors. Clear this part? Sure. And they are interdependent, not independent, interdependent on each other. Then biodegradable waste, non-biodegradable, everybody knows, right? Sounds very easy. But last year, MCQ was based on this. A list of waste products will be given and you have to find out whether biodegradable or non-biodegradable. Sounds very easy but frequently asked question of both. Fine. Biodegradable can be decomposed by decomposers, which comprises of microorganisms, bacteria and fungi, which cannot be decomposed. See, this was the question. 5 or 4 times it has been repeated. Select the biodegradable waste among these. Come on. What will be the answer? What will be the answer? Biodegradable waste. Crop residue. Then one more. Leather. Right? And if you turn the question into non-biodegradable, DDT. Right? So it sounds very easy, but if you make some mistake, if you are writing only crop residue, then you will lose mark. Right? So do not be in waste. Very easy to score. Ecosystem, 2 types. Again, this has been asked with the examples already explained to you. Artificial ecosystem, cropland, zoo, aquarium, right? And natural ecosystems where no man-made activity is involved. Fine. So next, components of the ecosystem. Biotic and abiotic. Biotic means living. Abiotic means non-living. Sure, fine. Then again here you might be given a list and you have to segregate. Fine. Now biotic can be divided into producers, consumers and decomposers according to the role they play in the environment. Producers produce food, right? Consumers consume the what? Plants, right? And then so on. And decomposers, decomposition. And remember, decomposers, it has been asked, they convert organic into inorganic. Yes, this is important. Organic into inorganic. This has also been asked. Organic into inorganic. So abiotic. Now food chain. Food chain has been asked in many forms, right? And you can see their role: producer, primary consumer. What are primary consumers? Which directly feed on producers. Secondary consumers which feed on primary consumers, that is herbivores, right? As you can see, what are these? What are these? These are trophic levels, right? So you may be asked to construct a food chain operating in a grassland comprising of 3 trophic levels, 4 trophic levels, 5 trophic levels and so on, right? Easy? Done? Shall we? This is the diagram from your NCERT. So here you should, yes, you can see this is the grassland ecosystem, food chain, right? How you will write grass eaten by deer, eaten by lion. How many trophic levels? T3, T2 and T1. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 trophic levels. Here we have, this is aquatic food chain. Aquatic food chain. So at least these 3 food chains should be by heart because it's from your NCERT. This is phytoplanktons. This is zooplanktons, small fish and crayfish. Right? So please, this is the NCERT diagram. So you need to, because it has been asked in previous years. So these 3 food chains you should be well versed from your textbook. Found? Yeah, it's given there. That's right. Right? Instead of drawing the diagram, just put the box and label it. Trophic levels. Trophic levels, the steps of the food chains, various levels of the food chain, and obviously the producers belong to first trophic level. Then primary consumers, that is herbivores which eat plants, second trophic level. Then third trophic level will be carnivores which are feeding on herbivores, correct? And then fourth trophic level. And how many trophic levels can be maximum? 4 to 5. And reason, again I'll tell you, it's a very important question, frequently asked question, right? Again, this is your NCERT diagram. trophic levels they have depicted, and this can also be called as a pyramid, ecological pyramid, showing the producers, consumers, and you can see the number is decreasing and it is taking the shape of a triangle. Fine. So producers, primary consumers, herbivores, secondary consumers, carnivores, tertiary consumers, or top consumers which cannot be eaten by further in that food chain. Clear? So all the food chains, right? Various trophic levels. When each one dies, it is fed or degraded by decomposers. Now, come on, answer this question. See. First trophic level. Come on, what is the answer? Rose plant or neem plant or both? Both. Both. If you write one, you will lose the answer. You can see neem is also there. Neem is also there and rose is also there. Both of them. Clear my point? Now, and as you know, there is no linear food chain, right? We end up in having food webs. A linear food chain does not exist ideally in nature, so we have various overlapped food chains which is known as food web. So again in NCERT, one food web is there. Identify all the chains in that, right, along with the organisms. You should be acquainted. Now, food web shows the overlapping of food chains in an ecosystem. Energy flow in an ecosystem, many questions are based on this, right? Energy flow in an ecosystem is in accordance with the laws of thermodynamics. Already you know two laws of thermodynamics, right? First of all, energy flow is a unidirectional process. Whenever you are writing a food chain, any trophic level, right? T1, put an arrow. Arrow shows the direction. Do not ignore this. If you are simply writing like this, it is wrong. Clear my point? Now. So first law of thermodynamics, which states energy can neither be created nor destroyed. Can be converted from one form to another. Already you know solar energy converted into chemical energy during photosynthesis, right? So this is the first law. Second law of thermodynamics states that there is never 100% transmission of energy from one trophic level to another. So always results in some loss or dissipation of energy. So these two laws are followed for energy flow in an ecosystem. So flow of energy, unidirectional, right? It moves progressively through various trophic levels. Now, so these are the points from your NCERT which you will be requiring in numericals. How much energy is used by the producers? You know, 1% of the available solar radiations that is used for process of photosynthesis, right? It absorbs about 1% of solar energy. During the transfer of energy, how much is lost? 90%. What for the survival of its own? Those organisms, they require the energy for their survival, right? For their life processes. And only 10% is transferred to the next level, and this is forms a very important law known as 10% law. This is a frequently asked question of CBSE, right? Many a times. Why the length of the food chain cannot be more than 4 to 5 trophic levels? Many ways it has been asked, right? The amount of energy decreases, this is the answer, at successive trophic levels. Only 10% of the energy is transferred at each trophic level. Hence, the number of trophic levels in a food chain is restricted to 4 or 5. Very important, frequently asked question. This is the answer. Shall we? many, frequently. One question might be there from ozone, biological magnification or energy transfer. Somebody said? Fine. See, ozone, how it is formed, right? How it is formed? How is ozone formed? Yes, oxygen molecules combined with free oxygen, right? And this is the formula for ozone, right? How is ozone depleted? Yes, in presence of UV rays. Yes, it will be. So formation and depletion occurs, right? So what is ozone? This is frequently asked. It's a poisonous gas occurring in upper layers of atmosphere. How it is formed? We will show with the help of the equation. How does ozone affect our ecosystem? This was one question. This is the PYQ, right? And second was, we do not clean a pond. What is pond? Ecosystem, natural or artificial? It says artificial ecosystem. So ozone is a molecule formed by 3 atoms of oxygen, right? UV radiation split the molecular oxygen. So what will happen? Oxygen will split into, right? These atoms combine with molecular oxygen to form ozone. So this will combine with oxygen to form ozone. What is the function? It acts as a shield, prevents the UV rays from reaching the Earth's surface, right? And what is the harm caused by ozone? It's given in your NCERT. It can lead to skin cancer, right? Many are there, but this is specified in the NCERT. What is a pond ecosystem? Why do we need to clean? You clean an aquarium because in a naturally occurring ecosystem there will be decomposers. Here decomposers will not be there. Hence we need to clean them from time to time. Clear it? Shall we? Fast, based on your 10% law. Fast. See what you have to note here. Energy falling on plants. So what does this suggest? So whatever is energy, what you have to do? You have to take out 1%, right? Because it is asked energy falling on plants. So 1% of 20,000 joules. Right? What is the answer? 2000. Right? Juice is available to plants. Then how much is available to deer? 10% of 2000. That means 200. How much is available to lion? 200 joules. Okay, make it 200 joules. This will be 20 and this will be 2 joules. Shall we? Right? So what you have to focus here? You have to calculate 1% of the total solar radiation. Now see the next problem. 2 joules. Yes, come on, quickly. This one is slightly different from the first problem, right? What is given here? Directly available to the producer level. That means what we don't have to do? Available. We do not have to calculate the 1%. Directly we will start with the 10% law. How much is available to the producer? 100 joules. Then what will be for mice? 10 joules. Snake? 1 joule and 0.5. Fine? Clear? So two types of problems. Now, this food chain. Come on. Fast. Give me an answer. 2 joule is available to hawk. For snake it will be, rat it will be, grasshopper and grass. So whatever, right? 20,000. But what is asked? How much is available to grasshopper? So answer will be 200. So quite easy, based on 10% law. Shall we? Come on quickly. Yes. Come on. 6,000 kilojoules. Okay. So food chain is not given. If it is MCQ, fine. But if it is just a question, what you have to do? You always have to draw the food chain. So it is asked fourth trophic level, T2, T3 and T4. Right? The fourth trophic level it is 6 kilojoules. What will be at the producer? It will be 60, 600 and 6,000. Fine, and units obviously are very, very important. You cannot miss the units. Clear? Okay. Okay, what is the energy available at the maximum? Always, producers. Many questions are set on this. So energy keeps on decreasing. So always producer will have the maximum energy level. Pyramids. From the food chain, we do not get about the number of individuals participating, right? And that can be depicted from a ecological pyramid. Like any other pyramid, what is the shape of the pyramid? Right? If the maximum at the base, this is producer, right? T1. Energy keeps on decreasing or the number keeps on decreasing. T3, then T4. So it is assuming the shape of a triangle which is known as ecological pyramid. Maximum at the base, tapering at the apex. Shall we? Again, this is from your NCERT. Diagram showing flow of energy in an ecosystem. Right? So sunlight, it's about flow of energy. Sunlight, maximum energy. Then plants. Then herbivores, carnivores and top carnivores. Remember top carnivores which cannot be further eaten by any organism. Done. Now again, very important and very frequently asked. Biological magnification. It is very frequently asked. Right? What is biological magnification? So what happens if there is a food chain? T1, T2, T3, T4. Right? You have added any non-biodegradable substance. For example, pesticides. Right? To the plants. What will happen? They will not be degraded at all and will be moving to the next. Moving to the next. Moving to the next. Right? So what is occurring at each trophic level? There is increase in the concentration of that particular non-biodegradable substance. And this is known as biomagnification. Magnify means increase, right? So this is biological magnification. The question which is asked, which of the trophic levels will have the maximum accumulation? Whichever is the highest trophic level in the hierarchy. Clear? So again, this is very, very frequently asked question, right? It can be asked in the form of the short notes or directly. Then I told you, you can use this as an example. Usage of DDT, dichloro, right? Do not remember? No problem. Just remember as DDT. It's a non-biodegradable substance, right? As you can see, the concentration is increasing to 10 million times. Now, one question based on this. See, what I have seen last year, total 5 marks questions have come from in the last year question paper. This is first question. See, can you see? I identify the food chain in which organisms of the second trophic level are missing. So this is one food chain. Grass eaten by goat, eaten by lion. Fine. This is T1. This is T2, T3. Are you sure this is correct? Then phytoplankton, zooplankton, small fish, large fish. Fine. Tiger, grass, snake and frog. So grass will be first. Grass cannot be eaten directly by the tiger, cannot be eaten by the snake. Can be eaten by frog? No. So what is missing here? Here, yes. Here, T2 is missing. T2 is missing. Let's see this one also for confirmation. This is first trophic level, second, third, fourth and fifth. So here also all the trophic levels are present. So what is the answer? So this has been asked last year. Appears very easy, but when you are sitting in an examination hall, yes, so you have to be very particular and you can easily score 1 marks. Shall we? Now one more question. Assertion reason again 2024. 2024. Based on, can you tell me the topic on which it is based? It is based on biomagnification. So subjective, objective, these topics are always asked. Ozone depletion, biomagnification, 10% law, food chain, nothing more than that. Right? Accumulation of harmful chemicals is maximum in the organisms at the highest trophic level of a food chain. Because harmful chemicals are sprayed on the crops to protect them from the diseases and pests. Is it making some sense? No? And if we read like this, harmful chemicals are sprayed on the crops to protect them from diseases and pests. Therefore, no. So what is the answer? B. Both are correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion. So answer option will be B. One more. Section C. Section C means 5 marks. Yes? 3 marks question. 3 marks question, right? See, very easy question. A food chain is given. Plants eaten by deer, eaten by lion. In given food chain, what will be the impact of removing all the organism of the second trophic level? So it is plants eaten by deer, which is eaten by lion. So what they are saying, if you remove this, what will be the impact on the first and third trophic level? So imagine deers have been removed. What will happen? The population of plants will increase, right? It will increase, and population of lion will decrease, right? And at the end, conclude your statement, answer with writing. It will cause ecological imbalance. Always conclude your answer. All these things will lead to, write down the effect on first trophic level, third trophic level, whatever is, but conclude your answers with, it will cause ecological imbalance. Clear? Will the impact be same for the organism of the third trophic level in the above food chain if they were present in a food web? No. If it was a food web, it can get the food from other food chains. So because food web is a collection of overlapping food chains. So easy question, right? Fine, justified. This has been so easy to score marks. One more, a gas X. As I told you, these are the questions Right? Food chain has been covered. Biological magnification has been covered. Fine. X. What is the gas X? Deadly poison found at higher levels of atmosphere. What is this gas? Ozone. Performs an essential function. What is the function performed? Yes, protection from UV rays. Fine. Name the gas. So always make sure that you have attempted all the things asked in the question paper. Right? So name the gas will be ozone. Write the function performed. Right? You will write protection from UV rays. Which chemical is linked to decrease the level of this gas? CFC, and write its full form, chlorofluorocarbons. Right? Which measures have been taken by an international organization? Anybody? What is an international organization? It's given, yes. It's given in NCRT. See here. Yes, see. I've taken from NCRT. These are the lines of your NCRT. The amount of ozone is dropping sharply in 1980s. Decrease has been linked to CFCs. This has been framed into the question. Right? Used as refrigerants and in fire extinguishers. And what is that international organization? United Nations Environment Programme. In 1986, forging an agreement to freeze CFC production. And this is the line from your new NCRT. It is now mandatory for all the manufacturing companies to make CFC-free refrigerators throughout the world. So please focus on this. Generally, we skip this part. And as you can see, it has been asked last year. Shall we? Okay. Again, one question. Let's solve some questions. First, maximum concentration. So now, why I have included this question? How you will do? You will not write one word answer. What you will do? You will prepare a food chain always. That is mandatory, right? So what you will write? Grass, eaten by grass, hopper, eaten by frog, eaten by snake, and which is eaten by peacock. Always make a food chain for any of the questions. Fine? Now which will have the maximum concentration? Your highermost trophic level, that is the peacock. And then you can even, depending upon the marks, if it is more marks, you can write about one line about the biological magnification. Shall we? Always make the food chain. I think it's done. So we have completed the very easy chapter, but very scoring chapter. Right? Now you have the full confidence. Right? Go through it quickly, finish it off in half an hour, and 5 marks for sure. Now you have to worry about 25 marks. Fine? Moving to the next. Which topic shall we start? Heredity. Okay. Shall we? Now moving to the next chapter, that is heredity. Again, whatever is there in the textbook, everything will be asked. Because we have only 2 components, Mendelianism and sex determination. MCQ, assertion reasoning, and your subject both the topics. Shall we? Fast, quick revision, many a times we have done. Let's see. So you all know about heredity and variation, right? Quickly, right? So similarity is known as heredity, right? And differences known as variation. And the study of the two is a branch of science known as genetics. Now, we have to study about the Mendelism, right? This heredity is not random. It is as per laws of science, which was given by which scientist? Gregor Johann Mendel, the father of genetics, right? So Mendelian genetics. All living organisms reproduce their own kind, and offsprings do not totally resemble the parent. They show some variation. So genetics, you know, it's a science, right? Dealing with all these. So already we have completed this, right? Now moving quickly to the variation. Variations are the dissimilarities, right? So genetics, the branch of science that deals with the study of heredity and variation. Heredity, transmission of characters from parents to their offsprings. Variation, differences, right? How we are different from our parents, from siblings, right? Variations which are genetical and inherited. They are known as hereditary variations. Environmental variation, like you get a tattoo. Will it be inherited? No, because such variations are not caused in the chromosomes. Right? So Mendel's experiment, very important to have the basic concept of this. Gregor Johann Mendel, who is known as the father of genetics. So you need to know the name G.J. Mendel, the father of genetics. He is regarded as father of genetics. What was the experimental material? Pea plant, right? Let's see. So garden pea, you need to know the scientific name, that is Pisum satae. Correct? What is this part known as? This is pea pod. And these will be seeds. Fine. So this was the material used by Mendel. Very quickly. Steps in making a cross. What did Mendel do? He conducted artificial hybridization. How it was conducted? Let's see. See this figure. Mendel has taken a plant. For example, he has taken a plant bearing violet flower. Right? And when we say hybridization, what does that mean? That means sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction, which always means fusion of gametes. What are the gametes in case of plants? What are the male gametes? Pollen grains. Right? Male gametes. What are the female gametes? Egg inside the ovary. Correct? So what? You can see one he is considered as a female and one he is considered as male. This is the symbol for male. Right? So, and what is about pea? It is a bisexual flower having both male and female parts. So in order to prevent what? self-pollination, right? What has Mendel done? He has removed the male reproductive part, that is stamens, and that step is known as emasculation. Removal of male reproductive part. And what he has done, he has taken the pollen grains from the plant of his choice, that is the plant bearing white flowers, right? And dusted, right? And this type of pollination is known as cross pollination, right? And he has got the progeny, and you can see all the progeny is showing one trait, that we will come later on. But these are the steps in making a cross, how the cross is made. Now, this is again very frequently asked, reasons for selecting the pea plant. Why did he select the pea plant? Mendel selected pea plant because they are of pure variety. Pure variety means, drink some water. Pure variety means even after successive self-pollination, the result will be same, right? If we make a cross between this, suppose a plant bearing red flower is self-pollinated, right? The offsprings will be red. Again self-pollinated, red, right? For successive generations, it will give the same result. It will not deviate, right? That is known as pure bred or pure variety. So, pea plants are having pure varieties, easy to cultivate. They are having the life cycle of only few months. The results can be interpreted earlier. Contrasting traits are observed. Already you know how many contrasting traits are there. How many pairs? 7 pairs. In one plant only, right? 7 pairs. Flowers are bisexual, normally self-pollinated, but can be artificially cross-pollinated, right? And hybrids which are obtained are fertile. So these are the few reasons for selection of pea plant, Prism sativa. Now difference between character and trait, already you know. If the character is height, traits can be tall and short. If the character is color of the eye, means how the character is expressed phenotypically, that is known as the trait. Earlobe can be free and fused. Hair texture can be straight or curly. So character is a well-defined morphological or physiological feature of the individual. Trait is the expression of that particular character. So be very clear with these two terms, character and traits. How many characters he has taken into consideration? 7. And how many traits?
14.
7 pairs. That comes to 14. Correct? So 7 pairs of contrasting traits. Again, can you name? Come on. Which character? First is height. Right? Traits can be tall and short. Second is shape. Rounded, wrinkled. Second again will be for seed. Right? 2 each. Except for the height. Right? Shade color, yellow and green. Then comes the flower color, violet and white. Then comes the flower position, axial and terminal. Right? Pot color, what you have to remember here? Green and yellow. Right? I'm coming to it. And pot shape will be inflated and constricted. Right? Now, how to remember? How many are there? 7, 2 each. Right? 2 for flower, 2 for pot, 2 for seed, and 1 for stem height. Right? Now, you can see one more word here. What is that? Dominant and recessive. What does this mean? Already you are aware, this is a revision, right? That when he made a cross, F1 generation showed only one trait, while F2 generation showed both the traits in a fixed ratio of 3:1. So the trait which was expressed in both the generations, F1 and F2, is dominant, whereas the one which was expressed only in F2 is recessive. That means all these traits are dominant and all these traits are recessive. Clear my point? So coming to inheritance of one gene, which is also known as mono. Mono means one, right? Hybrid cross. That means you are taking one character at a time. Either only height, only color of the flower, only color of the seed, right? One character at a time. That is known as monohybrid cross. Fine. Now, what was his observations? F1 hybrid always showed one of the parental forms of the trait. F2 showed both in a fixed ratio, right? That was 3:1. Almost 3 times of the frequency at least was in recessive form. This was the observation of Mendel. Now, based on this, wait. What happened? I know that. Wait. Can't close this. Mendel's monohybrid cross. I hope you all are ready, right? Now, next. Sure. Monohybrid cross, a typical example we take for tall and dwarf. First of all, what you will write? Phenotype of the parent. Always, what is phenotype? हिंदी में सुन लो, जो दिखता है that is the phenotype. Right? जैसा हमें दिख रहा है, that is the phenotype. If I can see something red, that is its phenotype. Right? And why it is red? Because of some genes. That will be its genotype. So be very clear with these two words. Phenotype, genotype. जो दिख रहा है, that is phenotype. So parents, when he has taken, right? He has taken a pea plant which were tall. So tallness is its phenotype. So always first write the phenotype of the parent. So that means we are making a cross between tall and dwarf. Right? Then why it is tall? Because of presence of some genes which are present on the chromosomes. And chromosomes always occur in pairs. And hence the genes situated on the chromosomes. So right? So tallness already you know, we have done in class. Okay. So this is the, and in fact representing a pair of chromosomes on which the genes for height is situated at a locus, which is the point at which the genes are present. So this is one pair set of genes, one pair of genes, and this is another. So always take capital for the dominant, already you know which one is dominant, we have seen from that list, and always take the small alphabet for the recessive form, right? Next comes the gametogenesis. What is gametogenesis? Which process occurs during gametogenesis? Which type of cell division? Which type of cell division? Meiosis. That means number of chromosomes is reduced to half. It is a reduction division. Right? That means the chromosomes will separate, segregate. And when chromosomes will separate, the genes situated on the chromosomes will also separate. Right? So this is shown as gametogenesis. Split the word. Gametogenesis, yani gametes ka banna. How are gametes formed? By meiosis. And during meiosis, the number of chromosomes is reduced to half. So you can see it is reduced, separated. Same goes for the dwarf one, separated, right? And then sexual reproduction is all about fertilization. We will opt for the Punnett square. Always opt for the Punnett square. It is easy to do. On one side, we will denote male gametes, other side female gametes, right? Now can you tell fusion of this and this? Capital T, small t. This is all about possibility and probability. What is we are actually showing? This gamete can fuse with this. This gamete can also fuse with this. So we have shown the two gametes, right? For the dominant trait and even for the recessive. So this can fuse with this, leading to this. This can also fuse with this, leading to capital T, small t. This can fuse with this, capital T, small t. This can also fuse with this, capital T, small t. This generation is known as F1. Please fill up all the things. Do not skip anything. Right? Correct? Then the result for F1. What you have obtained? Phenotype, that is all tall. Genotype, the set of genes. All were capital T and small t. Clear? Now, go for what is the next step? Self-pollination or selfing of what? F1 offsprings. Right? Again, phenotype. Do not write parent again. That is just you write phenotype. Parent was for the first generation, right? All tall, genotype capital T, small t, right? Gametogenesis, separation of chromosomes by meiosis, fertilization. Go for the Punnett square, fine, and we have got the result for F2. What you have obtained here? You have obtained tall and dwarf, right? How many tall? 3 tall. And how many dwarf? 1 dwarf. Fine. So you have to write the result. Result of F2. Phenotype 3 tall, 1 dwarf. Phenotypic ratio. Always write tall is to dwarf and then write 3 is to 1. Otherwise it will not make any sense. Then we have the genotype. The number of gene combinations we have obtained. Capital T, small t, small t, small t, small t. And if you see the next thing is genotypic ratio. That will be in the ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 1. You all are well versed with this. This was the result Mendel obtained. So what? What was his conclusion? This is the monohybrid cross. Likewise, you can make for all the 7 traits, 7 pairs of traits or 7 characters. What was the observation? Observation was this. What was the conclusion? Yes, he formulated the laws of inheritance. Right? Based on this, this is very important. Right? Very aware. Whenever subjective part is asked, you are asked to explain. You have to write these laws. Right? First law states. What was the first law? Law of dominance. Right? In all the crosses, what you have observed? Only one phenotype is expressed. Parents were of 2 types, but only one was expressed in F1. That is law of dominance. How you will write? Out of a, see each and every word, each and every line. Right? Out of a pair of contrasting traits. Traits are contrasting, tall and dwarf, red and white. So out of a pair of contrasting traits present together, only one is able to express while the other remains suppressed. The one which is expressed is known as dominant. The one that expresses itself is dominant trait. And the one which is unexpressed, this is the simplest form of laws which I have written for you. Right? Out of a pair of contrasting traits present together, only one is expressed. The one which is expressed is known as dominant. The one which is unexpressed is known as recessive. This is known as law of dominance. Shall we? Recessive can express only when both the genes are present. Right? For example, what is example? Small t. If tall, this can be tall, even this can be tall. Though only one gene is present for tallness, other one is for dwarfness, but it is tall. But when both the genes are present for dwarfness, then only it will be expressed. So recessive is expressed only when the pair of consisting of both recessive, homozygous. Done, children? Second law, what does it state? The ratio 3:1, that is known as law of segregation. Some very important questions have come on this, though it's not given properly in NCERT. Right? What does this say? This is also known as law of purity of gametes. See, what are the parents we have taken? In all the 7 cases, we have taken tall, right, into dwarf. What was the result? Tall. And in second case, tall and dwarf. 3:1. Anywhere did Mendel notice the plants of intermediate height?
No.
When a cross was made between red and white, F1 generation, all red. F2 generation, red and white. Never ever he got pink. Likewise. So there is no blending of genes. Genes mix नहीं होते, blend नहीं होते. They just segregate during gametogenesis. This is known as law of segregation. So the two members of a pair of factors, and please remember, by the time Mendel died, genes were not discovered. So he has used the word factors for modern day genes. So whenever you read factors, what should echo in your mind? Genes, right? A pair of the factors separate during formation of gametes. During meiosis, they separate. The chromosomes separate, and hence the genes situated on the chromosomes, they also separate. This is known as law of segregation. They do not blend. They do not blend, but segregate in the ratio. They do not blend, but segregate into different gametes, and the gametes combine together when they fuse, right? At the random fusion at the time of zygote formation. Now what you have to note here, first law and the law of segregation you get from both the type of process, monohybrid as well as dihybrid. Remember, dihybrid में भी ये दोनों laws मिलेंगे हमें, right? First generation in dihybrid will be again one type, and second again it will be 3:1. I'll show you how. But the third law, which is law of independent assortment, we get only from the dihybrid cross. So first, to understand the law of independent assortment, we should first know the dihybrid cross. Shall we? Then I'll come to. Just have a look at the words. We have to be very clear with the word gene. Allele. Allele is one form of gene. जो हम alphabets लिखते हैं T and T, that is allele, right? Capital T denotes one form of gene for tallness. Small t denotes one form of gene for dwarfness. Dominant traits always show up. Recessive traits that can hide. Homozygous has the same alleles. What does this mean? Homozygous having the same alleles means yes, capital T or small t also, right? Heterozygous, capital T, small t. Genotype, the gene type, the letters, this is genotype. Phenotype, what did I tell you? जो दिखता है, that is the phenotype. I hope you all are clear with each and every term, right? So you can see genes, unit of inheritance, alleles, which code for a pair of contrasting traits, right? Dominant, which always show up in F1 generation as well as F2. Recessive, the factor or allele which is unable to express its effect, presence of a contrasting factor. That means what does it show? That if it is capital T, small t, right? It is not expressing itself in presence of this one, right? So it is recessive. And whereas this one is showing itself, expressing itself even if the recessive one is present. So this is dominant. Homozygous, already told to you, right? Heterozygous also. Now, phenotype, genotype. Sure. Then answer few questions. If you are clear, let me see. Question is solved करने ना. Sure. The innate tendency of offsprings to resemble their parents is known as inheritance. Monohybrid ratio 3:1. Genotype is trait expressed, genetic combination, expressed genes, genetic composition of the phenotype. Genetic constitution of the phenotype. जो दिख रहा है that is phenotype. क्यों वैसा दिख रहा है? Because of the genes. So genetic composition of the phenotype is known as genotype. Okay. Mendel used which one? Rhizome sativa, right? And what is the rhizome sativa? You all eat on daily basis. The tendency of offspring to differ from parents is known as variation. Come on. Physical expression is known as phenotype. So clear with these words, right? Alternate form of a gene is known as alleles, right? Alleles. Each gametes carry what? Yes, come on. Only one of the alleles. It can be dominant also, it can be recessive. The alternate forms of gene is known as alleles. Come on, solve fast. So CBSE question, PYQ. A garden pea plant produces inflated yellow pods, another produced constricted green pods. So we have two, inflated, constricted, yellow and green. Identify the dominant traits. Pods. Come on.
Yellow pod.
Pods में what is the dominant? Green. Green is dominant. What the seed color? It is yellow. So it is green. Is dominant. And other one? Inflated or constricted? Inflated. Clear? Right? So you can see it's quite easy. Inflated and green. If you write one, you will lose the marks. Both you have to identify, right? Inflated and green. Two contrasting pod related traits studied by Mendelian pea plant. Pod related. Inflated. That is how you will write. Shape of the pod, that is inflated and constricted. And then color of the pod, that is green and yellow. Fine. So mention two related with flower. Flower color and flower position. Mention the dominant and the recessive ones. Axial and terminal. Violet and. Now coming to dihybrid cross. And this is the cross where if you have not practiced well, you may make some mistakes. Shall we? Okay. So this is a dihybrid cross. Shall we? So dihybrid cross. Okay. Mendel goes with pea plants, yellow color, brown shape. Now one thing what I would like to tell. We will be making a cross between round and yellow. Right? Pay attention. Round yellow seeds with wrinkled green. Right? Please check your NCRT. Check your NCRT. The cross given in your book is between round, pay attention, right? Green and wrinkled yellow. अब यहाँ पे ध्यान क्या देना है? See, look here. First case, what we have taken both the traits dominant and both the recessive together. Second case, which is given in NCRT, is one. This is dominant. This is recessive and dominant. right? So be very careful of what is asked in the question. I will tell you why. Because numericals are there, it will create some differences, right? Result will be same. Result will be same. Ratio will be same. 9:3:3:1. Right? What we have to focus on, that I will tell you. First, we will solve this one. Round yellow and wrinkled green. All of you, start with me. Right? You don't have to be a spectator. Come on. You already know. Start making the cross. Cross, yes. Will be starting with what you have to write first of all? Phenotype. Round yellow into wrinkled green. Right? Phenotype, genotype. Now, first area where you have to be a bit careful. Generally, the mistake is made in this part. Right? Look here, everybody. When you have to make the gametes. Like when it was tall or monohybrid cross, it was very easy. You just separated capital T, right? You separated. Same way you have to do here. No point, right? You have what you have to consider. It's a dihybrid cross. How many characters we have taken? 2. Same. This and this. That means when the gametes are there, this will be separated. Capital R along with this, right? Assume it like this. A chromosome, another chromosome, right? This is the genes for shape, right? Round, round. This is the genes for color, yellow, yellow. So when this will separate, what will happen? This chromosome having genes for round shape as well as yellow color will separate, isn't it? So what will happen? The gametes will be capital R, capital Y, right? Capital R, capital Y. All the gametes will be same. Again here, this will separate, this will separate. Small r, small y, and again small r, small y. Clear? Now here we can skip the first step. Why? Because I told you, law of dominance is applicable to both monohybrid and dihybrid cross. So by that, we know what will be the result. The dominant traits will be expressed, but in which form? Heterozygous form. What was the dominant trait? Round and yellow. So that means this may fuse with this, and what will be the result? Capital R, capital Y, small y. All will be the same in F1 as per the law of dominance. So this step you can skip here directly. You will show the fusion, right? Like this. So F1 all rounded yellow. But what you have to see? All are in heterozygous form, hybrid form. Done till here? Right. Now, selfing of the F1, round yellow into round yellow. Come on. This is right. Now, another step which is very important. Now, see children, I talked about the third law of genetics. That was law of independent assortment, which you will find here during this gametogenesis. What is applicable here? Law of independent. Yes. Assortment. Independent means not dependent. See, we had a set of genes. One was pertaining to the shape, other was pertaining to the color. Right? So what we had? Round seeds which are yellow in color. Wrinkle seeds which are green in color. As per the law of independent assortment, when the genes for shape and the genes of color, when they segregate, they are independent of each other. Means color का gene separate होगा तो उसको shape से कोई मतलब नहीं. Do you get it? Which implies that if this is the one set, this is another set. So if this is the gene for shape, right? This can go with this also. Yellow के संग भी जा सकता है. Or second possibility, this can go with wrinkled also. Round and green, round and yellow. Same, small r can go with capital Y and small r can go with small y. So here we get 4 type of gametes. This is how it is different from monohybrid cross. Here, there 2 gametes, 2 types. Here 4 types. Clear? So this is the step where you have to be very careful. Shall we? So this is the step where what is applicable? Law of independent assortment. I'll show you the law. So first see the gametes fast and make the cross. Done? Make the cross fast. This is how it goes. Is it done? Now look here. What is important? What did I tell you? See the result first. And here no need for the genotypic ratio. Right? What is the result? Phenotypic ratio. Round and yellow. How many? Let's confirm. This is round yellow. This is round yellow. Round yellow. Round yellow. Round yellow. Round yellow? No, correct. Round yellow, round yellow, round yellow, and round yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 60. Fine. Now comes the round green. 1, 2, and 3 out of 60. Then comes the wrinkled yellow. 1, 2, and 3. And then comes the wrinkled green. Clear everybody? Now what is important here? This round yellow. What was your parental combination? We started a cross between round yellow and wrinkled green. Because this has been used in numericals. Right? This one and this one is parental combination. Correct? What about these two? These are recombinants. Yani ki new combinant. New. Right? You had round seeds which were yellow in color. Here round seeds are green in color. Isn't it new? Right? And there we had wrinkle seeds which were green in color. Here wrinkle seeds are yellow in color. So these ratio. Correct? Now I told you about NCERT. What was the cross? Cross was between round and green, right, into wrinkled and yellow. Now in the question, right, what will be the new combination? This was the parental, right? यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? New combinations change हो जाएंगे. Do you get it? Correct? But always remember the new combinations will be 3 and 3 and parental will be 9 and 1. Got my point? Because numericals are there. So whatever is asked, do it accordingly. Clear? Shall we? So this was about dihybrid cross. Let's see the law of independent assortment, which is applicable. Okay, one more thing. I said we get law of dominance as well as law of segregation from both the cross. What was law of segregation? Which ratio? 3:1. Do you find 3:1 here? No or yes?
Yes.
Okay, anybody saying no? No problem. You can clarify. See, 3:1 कैसे? Total how many round? Total how many round? 9 and 3. That is 12. Right? And how many wrinkle? 3 and 1, 4. Right? Simplify. 3:1. Same goes for the color. Total how many yellow? How many yellow? Total 12 yellow. And how many green? 4. 4. Total 4. So that comes to 3:1. So we get the law of segregation ratio 3:1 from both the cross, monohybrid as well as dihybrid cross. And when in F1 we got all same, right? What happened? It was law of dominance. This one, right? Now coming to law of independent assortment. See, when there are two pairs of contrasting characters, what are the characters you have taken in this particular case? Shape and color of the seed. The distribution of members of one pair of the gametes pertaining to shape is independent of the distribution of the other pair, right? As seen in the gametes of F1 hybrid and dihybrid cross, right? So green seeds can be round in shape, wrinkled in shape. Yellow seeds can be round in shape and wrinkled in shape. So that is law of independent assortment. Crystal clear? Right? Practice it taking many pairs. Round yellow के अलावा भी तुम लिख सकते हो tall with violet flower. Isn't it? ऐसे कोई भी mix match कर सकते हो and you will get the same result. Two parental combinations 9 and 1 and 3 will be new combinations. Some numericals let's solve, then you will get an idea. So what was the result? A green pod can have round or wrinkled seeds, yellow pod can have round or wrinkled seeds. The different traits do not influence the inheritance of each other. Yellow किसको नहीं influence कर रहा है? Pod के shape को. Green pod के shape को नहीं influence कर रहा है and vice versa. They are inherited independently. Clear? So if you summarize it, dominance, right? Tall and short, all tall. That is law of dominance. Segregation. See, 3:1 can also be converted into percentage. 75 and 25. We should be very clear with percentage, fraction and ratio. Independent assortment. You can see this ratio pertains to law of independent assortment. Clear? These three laws you have to write down because wherever subjective part is asked, you have to copy paste those laws. So Mendel's three laws: dominance, segregation and law of independent assortment. Now coming to very important topic which is frequently asked. आता ही आता है. Sex determination in human beings. You know about the chromosomes? How many chromosomes are there in human beings? 46, right? That means 23 pairs. And what is the breakup of these 23 pairs? 22 pairs are known as autosomes and one pair is sex chromosome, which can be XX or XY. Everybody is clear with this, right? Now, coming quickly. So, female, they have 44 plus XX and males, they have 44 plus XY. Now, obviously, during spermatogenesis, right, or gametogenesis, now see what happens. How you will show that? With the help of a cross. Same way like we have done for the Mendel. In NCERT book, one very weird diagram is here. Better to go for this systematic cross. It usually comes this question, either for 3 marks question or for objective, right? So sex determination in human beings. Same way, parents, phenotype. What is the phenotype? Male and female. Genotype. Now genotype is 44 plus X1. Generally the books, they do not consider the autosomes, but that is not the truth, right? The gametes will have all the chromosomes, autosomes as well as the sex chromosomes. Though gender is determined by the sex chromosomes, but all the chromosomes will be present. So better to go for this 44, 45, 46, right? Then what about female? 44 plus XX. Same way, gametogenesis, formation of sperms. Yeah. Chromosomes will separate. 22 plus X, 22 plus Y, right? That means what you have to consider here, two types of gametes are formed. दो अलग तरह के आधे gametes कैसे बनेंगे? Having autosomes के साथ sex chromosomes X. Other type of set will have sex chromosome as Y. So we have two different types of sperms formed. Whereas ovum will be all same. All will be having autosomes and the X chromosome. Then again go for this thing, fertilization, right? Male gametes, female gametes. This can fuse with this can fuse with this, right? Already you know, right? So what is the result? As you can see, 50% of the possibility of progeny being the female and 50% the progeny can be male, right? This, it's easier to do than to draw that diagram or anything, right? So progeny 50% male, 50% female, always, right? You draw this cross and just simply write कि sex is determined genetically, first of all in human beings. Give the data about the chromosomes, write the number of autosomes and their breakup, sex chromosomes, then show this fusion and then write two statements. First, if the sperm bearing X chromosome fuses with the ovum, the progeny will be female. If the sperm bearing XY chromosome fuses with an ovum, the progeny will be male. Right? Do not write X chromosomes fuses with Y. Chromosomes do not come out of the cell and fuse here. Gametes fuse. Gametes bear the chromosomes. So use appropriate terms. Right? Here, one question was there. A couple has 6 daughters. 6 daughters. And 7 times the mother is pregnant. What is the possibility of the progeny being male or female? Kya possibility? Each pregnancy it will be 50-50. Always remember. Right? Each time. There is 50-50% chances of the progeny being male or female. Right? You will write this. You will write those statements. Shall we? Shall. Now the major work starts. Some questions. Oh. Come on. चलो 1 मिनट सॉल्व करो. Monohybrid cross between two heterozygous individuals. Always take your pen. Heterozygous individuals. For suppose this is heterozygous. Correct? Correct? And now you know the result. What is the fast? You make T, T, T and T. T, 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 T and small t, small t. Now dear, what is the question? Pure homozygous. कितने हैं? This is pure? No. This is pure? No. This is pure? And what about this? This is also pure? Right or wrong? This is pure recessive, that is pure dominant, but it is pure homozygous. So out of 4, how many total pure is homozygous? 2. That means what is the answer? 50%. So read the question very carefully. Lift your pen, solve it in rough, even if it is MCQ. It appears very easy, but if you are making silly mistakes, got my point? So read each and every word. It said monohybrid between 2 heterozygous individuals. Purposely I have put this question. Shall we? Done? Now, come on. I want you to solve this right now. Percentage of gametes produced by AB parents. AB gametes कितने बनेंगे? Question ये. Pencil. चलो. Yes. A, B, B. Law of independent assortment. Capital A can be with capital B. Capital A can be with B. Small b. Small a can be with small capital B. And small a can be with B. Small b. So what they've asked? AB gametes. So out of 4, 1/4 gametes will be AB. That is equal to how much? 25%. Easy. Done. Interesting as well. Good. चलो फर्स्ट ये सब बोर्ड के क्वेश्चन है. A will be fertilized by the sperm. Having so what they are asking, sperms are of 2 types, right? This is one sperm, right? It will be fusing with an egg. So what will be egg? It will be 22 plus X. So that will be 44 plus X. So this one will be female and this one will be male. Right? So but write the answer complete. Shall we? So it will be A, it will be female, and B, it will be male. Next. As you can see, this is the question of 2011. Come on, do it fast. One plant with dominant tall height, bearing purple flowers. Is it a monohybrid or a dihybrid cross? Can you see? Apart from round grain, this can also be one of the combination. And it's a board question, right? Tall with purple, right? P and P with another plant having recessive doors. So small t and small p. Fine. What will be the plants of F1 generation look like?
Tall and violet.
So as per the law of dominance, it will be capital T, small t, capital P, small p. But what will be the phenotype? It will be tall and purple. You have to show the cross. Okay. One question which arises in anybody's mind. Do we need to draw the cross? What is the answer?
Yes.
Always it's yes. Unless and until it's an MCQ. If it is an MCQ and you need to do some rough work, please do in the rough space. Cross हमेशा दिखाना है. बिना cross के how did you arrive at the answer? You cannot simply write. You will not get the marks. Am I crystal clear? So tall and purple. What type of cross is it? Dihybrid cross. What is the phenotypic ratio in G2? 9 is to 3 is to 1. But you don't have to write like this. You have to write. This will be tall and purple. This will be dwarf and white. And this will be tall and white. And this will be dwarf and purple. Got it? So first and last will be parental. बीच वाले दोनों new combinations. करके भी देख लेना एक बार क्रॉस चेक.
First and last dominant और recessive होंगे बीच में.
Parental combinations. Parents का जोड़ नहीं लिया.
NCERT में तो क्रॉस गया फिर भी उसमें अलग है.
करके देखो दोनों.
Parents इसमें बीच में आ जाए.
हाँ, do it and see whatever is the thing. Parental and recessive. This is new combinations. Fine. One more will come to you. We have done that question of sign one. Come on, this one. इसको चेक कर लेना पैरेंटल और न्यू कॉम्बिनेंट्स कौन से वन है. अकॉर्डिंगली न्यूमेरिकल्स विल बी देयर. चलो हाँ, आंसर दिस अगेन. यू कैन सी अ CBSE बोर्ड क्वेश्चन. Why does the offsprings do not have the double set? 46 pairs. So how you will write this answer? You have to write now. And you have to show the illustration. Illustration, you will show the cross which I have shown you. Right? What you will write? You will write gametes have half the number. Gametes are haploid. You can use the word haploid and diploid. Right? And gametes are formed by the process of meiosis when the number of chromosomes are reduced to half. Fine. Human gametes carry only 23. And then you can show the fusion. Fusion restores the diploidy and you can show the cross. Right? Hence the number of chromosomes is not 46 pairs. It is 46 because the gametes are haploid and when they fuse, it restores the diploidy. You can show the cross which we have done. Clear? Come on, can you tell? Blue color.
Blue.
This is dominant, already they have shown. White, right? So what is the F1 generation? Blue, right? All will be blue. What is the percentage of white flower in F2? Percentage, that is 3:1 ratio, right? And that is 1/4, that is equal to 25%. Fine. An expected ratio of BBN. So it was capital B is to capital B, small b is to small b, small b. 1 is to 2 is to 1. And what they have asked? They have only asked this one, right? No, they have asked this much. Yes. So you will write 1 is to 2. Write the complete answer. Whatever is asked, right? That should be your answer in the whatever next separate line. Clear? You have to draw the cross like this. Already done, right? Now, can you do it? Tall, broad, same, right? What do the plants of F1 look like? Tall. Ratio, tall to dot, 3:1. Type of plants not found in F1 generation? Dwarfs. Appeared in F2. And reason? Now you will write here. The law of dominance. Clear? So this is another type. So dominant trait, and whereas that one is the recessive trait. I think you can do this. Very easy. A data is given, you have to interpret that and answer. Same concept given in a different form. 3 columns have been given. Parental plants cross-fertilized and seeds collected. Male parent always red, female always at white. What does this show? Law of purity of gametes, right? Always, right? Second column, F1 generation, 330 seeds, all were red. This shows red is dominance. Red is dominant. This data shows 44 out of 44, 33 red and 11 white. If you simplify this, it becomes 3:1. Right? So we have interpreted all the data given. Now let's see the questions. What is the term for this type of cross? Now it becomes very simple. It becomes monohybrid. Data of the column F1 indicates. This is F1. It indicates that red, gene for red color is dominant. Right? Properly. Express the genotype of parents. Now here, since it's given male and female, then you will write male parent and female parent. Generally, we do not consider, it doesn't make any difference. One is considered as male, one is considered as female. We do not specify. But since it is specified in the question, in the answer also it should be specified. For male parent, it will be capital R, capital R. Female parent, it will be small r, small r. So be sure, make sure to specify this since it is specified in question. F1 progeny, genotype, they have asked, it will be capital R, small r. And F2 progeny, write all the 3 types, that is capital R, comma, capital R, comma, small r, small r. Clear? Shall we? So easy. This chapter already we have done. Right? Now this also you can do. Again, these are, you can see these are all the board questions, right? And I think you can answer all of them. What? I want you to solve this question. Because what is specified here, like I've been telling you, new combinations. New combinations. That 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Right? So, 2 pea plants. What is given? Round yellow. Round yellow. Right? Another one is wrinkled green. So, parental is round yellow and wrinkled green. Correct? And there will be, in F1 all will be round and yellow. Obviously hybrid. And F2 what it will be? 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Right? See the question again. How many seeds? With new combinations will be produced. Okay. New combination was 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. ये वाला था, right? So, if you consider this one, first one, it is 3 out of 16, right? So, out of 16, how many? 3. Therefore, out of 160, how many? 160 into 3 upon 16. That comes to 30. 30 this and the 30 other one, this one. Total it is 60 seeds with new combinations. Clear? This was the sample question paper in 2022. And explain with reason. Reason will be law of independent assortment. Done? Clear to everybody? Now, solve this. This is easy. Already we have been taking tall into same cross which I have been doing. What will be the set of genes present in F1? This you can easily tell. Set of genes. Capital T, small t. Right? Why only tall plants are observed? Because genes for tallness is dominant and genes for dwarfness is recessive. Right? Or you can write the law of dominance, either of the two. When F1 was self-pollinated, remember F1, what will be the F1? Capital T, small t into capital T, small t. So this is the normal cross which we have been doing. Total of 800 plants were produced. Right? Now, 800 plants were produced. How many of them will be tall? Medium height? 0. Nil? Short. Right? So you know what is the ratio of tall and dwarf? 3 is to 1. Now you have to convert it into this. So again, this is 3 out of 4. 3 by 4 and this is 1 by 4. So out of 4, 3. Therefore out of 800, how many? So it will be 800 into 3 upon 4. That is 200 and that comes to 600. Easy? Same here. Means 1/4 of 800. What it will be? 200. 200. So that means 600 plus 200. It is coming to 800. So our solution is correct. Fine. Now for this one. When F1 plants were cross-pollinated. In this case it was self-pollinated. So F1 plants capital T, small t into plants having small t genes. This one. You have to make a proper cross. Right? Capital T, small t, small t, small t. capital T, small t, small t, small t, capital T, small t, small t, small t. How many will be tall? Medium will be nil.
400.
Right? So this is tall, this is tall. This is dwarf, this is 50-50. So 50% of 800. 400 will be tall and 400 will be dwarf. Clear? So this is also a sample paper asked 2 years ago. See the questions related with sex determination in humans with a flow chart, right? You have to show. Now, how many pairs of chromosomes are present in human beings? Come on, pairs.
23 pairs.
23. Don't write 46. If it is asked pairs, write pairs. If it is asked number, write the number. Right? Don't make this mistake. How many are sex chromosomes?
1, 2 pairs.
So specify one pair. Right? Specify. How many types of sex chromosomes are found in human beings? 2. X and Y. Name them also. The sex of a newborn is a matter of chance and none of the parents is considered responsible. You have to show none of the parents. This is just a matter of chance that if the sperm bearing Y chromosomes fuses with an ovum, the progeny will be male. If the sperm bearing X chromosomes fuses with an ovum, the progeny will be female. Clear? Draw a flow chart, already shown to you. So that flow chart you can copy paste anywhere, right? The diagram given in NCERT, that human figure and all, avoid that and go for the cross. Again, how this concept can be asked, justify the statement. So always make that flow chart, show the breakup of the chromosomes and write always that. If the sperm bearing X chromosome fuses with an ovum, progeny will be always write in that manner. Your answer will be complete. Shall I? Main difference between sperms and eggs of humans. Importance of this difference. Sperms and eggs of humans. Come on. Sperms. You can write the first difference. Sperms are male gametes and they are motile. Right? Female gametes are non-motile. Second, this was phenotype, right? Genotype. Male gametes have, sperms are of 2 types. They can be of 2 types, right? 2 types. First is motile and non-motile. First difference. Second difference about the genotype. 2 types of sperms, right? With chromosome as X and they can be having chromosomes with Y, right? Whereas they are always with X as the sex chromosome. Main difference, sperm is the male gamete, female gamete. Half of the sperms have Y chromosome, half have the X chromosome. X will have only X chromosome. You can write that motile and non-motile thing. Importance, if the father contributes X sex chromosome at the fertilization, progeny will be female. On the other hand, if he contributes Y sex chromosome, the progeny will be male. So this is how the questions are asked. And therefore, what does this determine? The gender of the child. That is its importance. Clear? Easily you can do. These are all board questions, right? So all the repetitive. F1, F2. Done? What is the gene? Unit of inheritance, right? Right. Again, same type. Now one more question regarding the sex determination. It has been asked 2 consecutive years, right? What is that? Sex determination in human beings is in humans? Yes, it is genetically determined. Right? Whereas in some organisms, it is determined by the environment. Environment. Give an example. This was asked in MCQ last year, and before that as a subjective. One was snail. Snail can change its gender. It can change its gender. This is again important, right? And second example is lizard, agama, right? Not studied yet. Reptiles, right? In this, the temperature of incubation of egg determines the gender. So this is an exception, or this is deviation, or different from sex determination in human beings. Again, continuously this is asked in some form or the other from last 2 to 3 years, and simply one line is mentioned in your NCR. What's that? Come on, can you locate that? Height is not genetically determined. One answer is snail and another answer is reptile, some lizard. Go through the notes. Done, children? So I think you all are clear with this, right? All the types of questions. See this one. Very frequently asked. It's a pre-YQ. First part obviously you can do, right? The sex is determined not by father, not by mother. It is just a matter of chance. See, give an example where environmental factors like temperature determines the gender of the offspring, sex of the offspring. So in some reptiles, the temperature at which the fertilized egg is incubated before hatching plays a role in determining. In turtle, high incubation period temperature leads to female and low will lead to male. This is one, and the other one which I gave you, which is mentioned in NCERT, snail, which can change its gender, which can change its sex. So ये 2-3 साल से ये क्वेश्चन जरूर आ रहा है, चाहे डिस्क्रिप्टिव में आ रहा है, चाहे एमसीक्यू में आ रहा है. Shall we? So I think we have completed all possible questions from heredity. See, descriptive. How do Mendel's experiments show that traits may be dominant or recessive? Whatever is the question, what do you have to do? Draw the cross, write the laws. Isn't it? Cross is very important. So you should be very well versed in making that monohybrid and dihybrid cross, because that is going to come. It's an open question. आना ही है किसी फॉर्म में, because बाकी चैप्टर में कुछ है ही नहीं. 110% it's going to come. Done? Any doubt? So we have completed this also. What next? Let me see. I think we'll go for life processes. Life process, right? Okay. Just let me see. You want questions or chapter summary? Like some questions or summary? No, important points only we'll discuss, and it will be a bit fast. I hope you all have revised, right? Okay. Yes, come. Shall we? Sure. So, first and foremost, reading NCERT, right? Reading NCERT, you have to be very careful. For example, see this. Just a random example. Whenever you find this word, since, right? Somewhere you may find, yes, since. Somewhere you may find hence, therefore, whichever sentence. So, please mark that while reading, right? Because these can be your potential assertion reasoning questions. Always remember. Wherever, it can be reasoning question also, justify also. So wherever in sentence, right, MCQ also, means they have importance. Since, hence, therefore, so. Got my point? You have to be very careful while reading. These are potential questions. Shall we? Okay. So starting with the, you can say the most vast chapter, that is life processes, but it is very, very easy. Split the topics and then learn. So life process, right? What are life processes? What they have emphasized in NCERT, right? The processes which are this for maintenance process, maintenance of life. Even if you are not doing anything, sleeping, your body requires maintenance. Such processes for maintenance is known as life processes. Now, coming to the first one. Nutrition, right? Now, nutrition. Fine. What is nutrition? Nutrition means intake of food as well as its utilization. So two aspects will be there: intake plus utilization. Right? Correct? Now, autotrophic nutrition as well as heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic, which can make their own food. Now, what has been frequently asked? This point. Glycogen and starch. This has been frequently converted into MCQs, right? So plants store food in form of starch, whereas in animals the source of energy is glycogen. Generally students get confused. Energy, so they see energy derived from the food. So from where the energy is derived? You will simply write ATP. No. It is, how is the food stored? In the form of glycogen, right? So energy is derived from glycogen. This is again many a times I have given in the questions also, right? Test also. Starch and glycogen. Okay. Now, coming to, yes, this one. Photosynthesis, right? What you have to pay attention? Equation for photosynthesis, right? What are the raw materials for photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide, water, producing glucose, oxygen and water. This is the addition in new NCERT, right? Previously we never write water in the products, but it is water, and in which form? Water vapor, right? So 6 carbon dioxide, 12 water is how many glucose? 1 molecule. And how many molecules of water? 6 and what is the oxygen, right? Now what again you have to remember, oxygen is nothing but the byproduct. What is the main product? Glucose. This is the product and oxygen is the byproduct. Again one question, from where does this oxygen comes? As you can see, carbon dioxide also has oxygen, water also has oxygen, but this oxygen comes by breakdown of water. Yes, breakdown of water eats oxygen. Clear? This is important, right? Now, photosynthesis. Photosynthesis we have done. It's the light reaction, dark reaction. Light reaction requires light. Dark reaction can occur in absence of, means it is light independent. Doesn't mean darkness is required for conduction, right? These three steps are very important. What is the first step? Absorption of light by chlorophyll. What is chlorophyll? It's a pigment present in the plastic known as chloroplast. Chloroplast, right? And here you can see the green dots called chloroplast contain chlorophyll, right? So chlorophyll are present inside the chloroplast. So what is the first step? So solar energy is there. It is absorbed by chlorophyll present inside the chloroplast. Then light energy, already studied in thermodynamics. Light energy is converted into chemical energy, right? This is first. And second, splitting of water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. So remember, oxygen comes from splitting of water, which is also known as photolysis. Right? Third step, last step, reduction of CO2 to carbohydrates. See, what is glucose? C6H12O6, right? And CO2 is a gas. This gas has to be converted into an organic compound, isn't it? So that is known as reduction. Means 6 carbon dioxide one by one will be converted into C6H12O6, one molecule of glucose. So what are the three steps? Quickly. Absorption of by present in second light ले ली, अब इसका क्या करेंगे? Chemical energy to split water to yield hydrogen gas and third main, what is the main aim? To prepare carbohydrate, right? So reduction of CO2 into fine. Now one very frequently asked question, कई बार बोर्ड में आ चुका है, क्या वो क्वेश्चन क्या पूछते हैं? देखो, you know, okay, see this diagram first. This is the TS of leaf and this is to show the site of photosynthesis. I am coming to it, right? Right? That means you have taken a leaf, you have cut its transverse section. So what you will observe? First of all, upper epidermis, lower epidermis, बीच में mesophyll, mesophyll, and already told to you mesophyll is of two types, right? This one is known as palisade, and this one is known as sponge. You can see the difference in shape and arrangement. These are compact arranged and they have the air spaces, but both of them have these green dots, right, which they have mentioned here, green dots, known as chloroplast, which is the site of photosynthesis. So what is the site of photosynthesis? Chloroplast. Present in which part? Leaf. Leaf के कौन से part में? Mesophyll. Both palisade and spongy. Correct? So I think 2 years ago, this diagram was used for MCQ. And the question was, they have removed the labeling and labeled as layer 1, layer 2 and layer 3. In which layer will be the maximum photosynthesis? Layer 1, 2 and 3 accordingly. Are you getting me? So you may not be asked to draw this diagram but can be utilized for your MCQ as well. ये question आ चुका है. Correct? And what is the difference between upper epidermis and lower epidermis? See children very carefully. Here we have a waxy cuticle. Wax means water resistant. So what is the function of this? To prevent the loss of water. And whereas on the lower epidermis you can see the presence of guard cell shown here, right? But we know guard cells are present in stomata. That means lower epidermis is interrupted by stomata. And stomatas are the structures through which gaseous exchange takes place. Clear my point? Right? So upper epidermis, cuticle, lower epidermis, stomata. And that is the reason if you have made a leaf peel, you have taken the peel from the which cells? Ventral surface. You have done this experiment in the lab, right? School में किया होगा. तो leaf का peel लिया था ना to study the structure of stomata. This was the experiment. Practical, right? You have taken from the lower surface because stomata are present there. In a dicot leaf, monocot leaf, stomata are present on both the surfaces. Right? Now, fine. This much we know. Now the question is, we know gaseous exchange takes place through stomata. Yani, what is the gas required? CO2. किसके through आ रही है? Stomata for photosynthesis. अब जो क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, ध्यान से सुनो, कई बार आ चुका है कि डेजर्ट प्लांट्स में जहाँ पे एटमॉस्फेरिक कंडीशंस कैसे होते हैं, एक्सट्रीमली हॉट, तो प्लांट्स क्या करेंगे? दिन में क्या करेंगे? स्टोमेटा को बंद कर देंगे. They will close the stomata to prevent loss of water. ठीक है? They have done it for the safety of the plant. But इससे loss क्या हो रहा है? कि CO2 cannot enter, CO2 cannot enter. That means photosynthesis cannot take place because that is the raw material for photosynthesis. Done? Do you get my point? तो photosynthesis तो दिन में होता है. Light reactions, dark reactions, light reactions के लिए sunlight चाहिए. Sunlight के पर इन्होंने क्या कर दिया? Stomata को बंद कर दिया. तो कैसे बनेगा? This is a frequently asked question. Many a times they have asked. Answer is given here in NCERT. These steps need not take place one after the other immediately. Right? What will happen? रात में desert plant में क्या होगा? Stomata will remain open. Carbon dioxide will enter. Carbon dioxide will get converted into a intermediate compound. Right? एक intermediate बीच का compound बना लेंगे. Right? And जब next day when sunlight is available, this intermediate compound will be converted into carbohydrate. Right? Which is acted upon by the energy absorbed by the chlorophyll during the day. So this is many a times frequently asked question. We are discussing NCERT, pure NCERT today, right? Whatever we have done throughout the year, that also, but this time only NCERT. Clear? Fine? And if you observe this, right, what you will see, these green dots will be chloroplasts. Why they are green? Because the presence of pigment chlorophyll. Clear my point? Now, can you see this activity? Right? Where this activity will be involved? Have you heard about कि CBSE में क्या increase कर दिया है? Competency based questions. What are these? What are these? Nothing but how you apply theory in your daily life. That is known as competency based questions. So in biology it is nothing but the practicals in your daily life, right? So whichever, you cannot leave any activity. Last 2-3 years trend have changed. They are focusing more on competency based questions. So activities are directly converted into your questions. Do you get it? Right? For example, if you see this, already we have done. This experiment is to show that Anybody? Yes? To loudly to show that no, not revising properly. Chlorophyll is not important, necessary for photosynthesis. Necessity, understand the word necessary and important. Photosynthesis. This is the aim of the experiment. This is the activity. They have taken a variegated leaf, a potted plant with variegated. Variegated means not having the chlorophyll in a continuous form, right? You can see the patches. This leaf is green as well as yellow. That means chlorophyll is present only in the green part. An example they have asked, board exam, croton and money plant. This question was given in the test also, right? Two examples of plant having variegated leaves. Everything is in NCERT. NCERT से बाहर से कुछ नहीं आता है. पर NCERT को ही deep में पढ़ो. So money plant and croton, right? Take it and keep it in a dark room, and that process is known as, come on, de-starching. So that the starch is used up. Now keep it in sunlight for 6 hours. Plug the leaf, and what you have to do? You have to trace this leaf and mark the areas which are green in color, right? Then again, what you will do? Bleaching, that is boiling in alcohol, right? Alcohol, that is bleaching, removal of pigment. The leaf will be pale in color, right? Then, and what is the precaution to be taken? You can not directly heat in alcohol because it is highly inflammable. Always use a water bath. What will happen? The leaf will be decolorized, and then when you will add a dilute solution of iodine, what will happen? The leaf parts which you have marked green will turn blue-black, hence showing that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Done? Can you see what can you conclude about the presence of starch in various areas? So where chlorophyll is present, there photosynthesis is taking place and starch is formed and stored. Shall we? Now again, this diagram is very important, right? This is the diagram for stomata, right? Stomatal pore. Fine. What is important? Inner wall is thicker and outer wall is thin, right? Guarded by kidney-shaped guard cells, right? These are guard cells, right? And each guard cell has a single nucleus but multiple chloroplasts. Multiple chloroplasts, which you can see. This is the stomatal pore, right? And these they have not mentioned, but these are subsidiary cells, right? Now, जो questions बनते हैं stomata पे, एक तो stomata का structure हो गया, right? Function of stomata, two functions. Number one, transpiration, right? Transpiration occurs through stomata. Number two, gaseous exchange. Two functions of stomata. दूसरा question, when do stomata open and close? Right? That opening and closing is guarded by guard cells. So when water enters the guard cells become turgid and they open. And when water leaves, they become flaccid and the stomata close. So remember opening, that is the reason they have shown both the figures. Open and close stomatal pore. Right? Now one more thing. Now can you tell me if there is a question? Question is, how does the gaseous exchange occurs? तुम क्या लिखोगे? अगर मैं option दूँ, from stomata, right? From root, leaf, what will be your option? Stomata. And if fourth option is all of the above. तुम stomata choose करोगे? What is important here, as you can see in the NCERT, right? Yes, I can see a potential question here. Massive amounts of gaseous exchange takes place in leaves through the pores, but it is, can you see, important to note, exchange of gases occurs across the surface of stem, root and leaves as well. This can be a potential question. हमारे दिमाग में आएगा सिर्फ स्टोमेटा आता है, right? But ये exchange of gases किससे होता है? stem, root or leaves as well. So all of the above will be the answer. Got it? Right? Closes the spores, right, when it does not need CO2. Opening and closing is the function of guard cell. Swell when water enters, causing the stomatal pore to open. Stomatal pore closes if the guard cells shrink. Clear everything from this chapter? Done? Now, this experiment has been asked in MCQ in the year that COVID year. First term was there for only MCQ. इसमें केस बेस्ड क्वेश्चन भी बनते हैं और यही हमारा कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस. Let's have a look. Shall we? How many are watching? Shall we? Shall we? What is the aim of this experiment? First was to show that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis. Now, the aim of this experiment to show that CO2 is necessary for photosynthesis. Shall we? No. Obviously, first step for all the photosynthetic experiments is same, de-starching. Why? We have to remove the starch so that whatever starch is there, it is used up, and then we can proceed with the experiment. De-starching means keeping the plant in darkness for minimum 48 hours. So take 2 healthy potted plants, right? Same size, keep them in a dark room. This is de-starching. 3 days. Place each one on a separate glass plate, and you have to make this apparatus airtight with the help of the Vaseline. You have to seal this glass jar. Fine. Now, in one of the setup, you have kept potassium hydroxide. What is important here? What is the property of KOH? KOH is potassium hydroxide. It absorbs CO2. It absorbs CO2. So we are getting a control, right? In one of the setup, we are having all the factors for photosynthesis, including CO2. Here, all the factors are there except CO2. So we get a clear-cut contrast. Now, cover both the jars with separate. Use Vaseline to seal the plates so that setup is airtight. This is important. Keep the plants in sunlight for 2 hours. Pluck each leaf. Then what will be the next step? Boil in alcohol, right? And then test with iodine. What will happen? This leaf from this setup A will be not turning blue-black, whereas from the setup B will be turning blue-black, indicating that CO2 is necessary for photosynthesis, because in this setup CO2 is present, in this setup CO2 is absent. Clear? Now, one more thing. Already we have done in the class. What I am showing you, what you have written here, based on the 2 activities, can we design an experiment to demonstrate that sunlight is essential for photosynthesis? They put a question mark. And I think 3 years ago, this was put as the question in the question paper, CBSE. He designed an experiment to show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. Already we have done, right? What we have done? First step was, yes, again de-starching, right? Keep de-starching, keeping in dark, de-starching. Then what? Take the plant, potted plant, and cover the leaf with black paper. Cover both the surfaces. Then take this leaf, boil in, keep this setup in sunlight. Alcohol, what will happen? Then test with starch, iodine, test for starch. What will be the result? This part will be This part will be blue black, this part will be blue black, this will be pale, indicating that light is necessary for photosynthesis. So this was asked for 3 marks question, right? So don't think it's not given in NCERT, it's there. And I think this is one of your question for your practical exams, board practical exams. Don't know whether you've done it in school or not. This is yes, one of the questions for your. Now one more thing, apart from sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, what do the plants require? Nitrogen, right? Nitrogen is useful for synthesis of proteins. Proteins are made up of amino acids. Remember, amino acids. And amino group is NH2 group. Hence you can see nitrogen is an essential element used in synthesis of proteins. Fine? Taken in the form of inorganic nitrates or nitrites. Now one more question which I have seen last 2-3 years. Heterotrophic nutrition, obviously the organisms which are dependent on plants. In our case, what happens? We take in food and it is digested with the help of enzymes. Now the question which was formed. Some organisms break down the food outside the body and absorb it. इस पे क्वेश्चन आया कि पहले इसको डाइजेस्ट करते हैं फिर एब्जॉर्ब करते हैं. तो इस कैटेगरी में क्या होते हैं? फंगस, fungi. They will digest, right? And then absorb. And then absorb. तो ऑप्शंस में क्या ढूंढना है हमें? Fungi. Fungi क्या क्या है? See, bread mold. As it is asked. ऐसे ही ऑप्शंस दिए थे. Second, yeast. Third, mushrooms. At least these 3 you can remember, right? Bread mold, yeast and mushrooms. So this is one type of heterotrophic nutrition, whereas the other one, which is also a human nutrition, whole material taken and broken inside the bodies, right? This is known as ingestion. Ingestion followed by digestion, right? So 2 types. What can be taken? Other organisms derive nutrition from plants or animals without killing them. This is third type, parasitic. Fine. So remember the examples. Cuscuta. It's a parasite from plant kingdom. इसको क्या बोलते हैं हिंदी में? अमरबेल. और इंग्लिश में dodder also. Cuscuta, अमरबेल, dodder. It's a plant parasite. Second is ticks. Third is lice, leech and tapeworms. So please go through the examples. These have been converted into your MCQs. Clear? Now, coming to nutrition in amoeba. Nutrition in amoeba, irrespective what they have shown in the book, what you have to write, it comprises of how many steps? Nutrition in amoeba comprises of how many steps? It's a typical, first of all, holozoic. Holozoic nutrition. Holozoic means 5-step process. Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. So this is a diagram you know, right? You have to show all the 5 steps. First will be ingestion. Ingestion takes place by which process? Pseudopodia. Pseudopodia are the temporary, pseudo means false, podia means feet, right? So they are the temporary extensions of the cell membrane. When a food is available, then only they project, right? And then it is converted into food vacuum. Then second step is digestion. I told you how you will show digestion. You will draw the amoeba, right? This was nucleus, this is cytoplasm, and this is the food vacuum, right? What you will show? Digestive enzymes entering from the cytoplasm, and you will label that. Fine. Third will be absorption. What you will do? You will reverse the arrow. Food is digested and food will be absorbed into the cytoplasm. Third will be assimilation. Fourth will be egestion, which they have missed out here. Egestion. Egestion they have missed. Ejection, you will show the empty food vacuole, right, and it is ejected out. The plasma membrane ruptures, ejects the empty food vacuole, and it becomes continuous again. Right? So again it has been asked, along with the diagram as discussed, you will write in points and draw the diagrams. Nutrition in amoeba, it's a holozoic nutrition. Typical holozoic nutrition comprises of 5-step process. Done. Now coming to something very important, nutrition in human beings. Here only you will revise. Okay? Starting with the human digestive system has how many components?
2.
Just 2. What are they? What are they? First is alimentary canal. And second is glands. That's it. Now alimentary canal has how many? First will be mouth. Second will be esophagus. Stomach. Then small intestine, followed by large intestine, and last is anus. And 3 glands you have to remember. What are they? Salivary glands. Then largest gland of your body, liver, followed by pancreas, the mixed gland, which is both exocrine as well as endocrine. Right? Now let's see what happens in each part. First of all, mouth. Right? What you have to remember? Mouth. Digestion in mouth. What happens? Saliva will pour its secretion. Saliva has one enzyme. What is that? Salivary amylase. Acts on starch. Starch. रोटी चावल जो भी हम खाते हैं उसका डाइजेशन स्टार्ट होता है माउथ में, खत्म नहीं होता है, स्टार्ट होता है माउथ में, राइट, एंड विल गेट कन्वर्टेड इनटू maltose, which is a disaccharide or a monosaccharide? Disaccharide, because monosaccharide is glucose and that will be achieved in small intestine. So this is occurring in mouth. That's it, right? Then proteins and fats का डाइजेशन क्या माउथ में स्टार्ट होता है? नहीं. किसका स्टार्ट होता है? स्टार्च का. इसमें हम एक एक्टिविटी भी अभी करेंगे, ऊपर है. Remember that saliva thing? We'll do it after this. Next, what is the part? Esophagus. Esophagus में no digestion. Food moves in the form of bolus, small balls, right? Bolus. By which process? Peristalsis. What is peristalsis? Rhythmic contraction and relaxation of the muscles of the alimentary canal, which pushes the food bolus inside the stomach. Now stomach, you have to remember 3 important things. First point in stomach. First of all, what is present? Acid. HCl. Right? Acid क्यों present है? Second, to activate pepsin. Pepsin. Pepsin acts on P से pepsin, P से protein. Digest protein. Right? Proteosis या हम amino acids to simplify जो बोलते हैं. Right? So HCl is required for the functioning of pepsin. 2 important points. Third, to presence of mucus, right, to prevent the corrosion of lining of stomach by the acid HCl. Easy? इजी स्टेप बाय खाना खाया, डाइजेशन स्टार्ट हुआ कार्बोहाइड्रेट का, which enzyme salivary amylase secreted by 3 pairs of salivary glands. 3 pairs of salivary glands. Correct? Now peristalsis से किधर आया? Esophagus से stomach. स्टमक में 3 ही पॉइंट याद करने, एक ही एंजाइम है भाई पैक्सिन, बहुत नखड़े हैं इसके. इट रिक्वायर्स एसिडिक मीडियम, तो एसिडिक मीडियम हु इज प्रोवाइडिंग? HCl. एंड उससे कौन, स्टमक को कौन बचा रहा है एसिड से? म्यूकस. फाइन. तो फूड इज churned in the stomach for 4 to 5 hours, right? And it becomes a paste known as chine. It becomes a paste known as chine, right? Chine. Now this chine will leak into small intestine. Small intestine already told to you 3 parts: duodenum, jejunum and ileum. So first part will be duodenum, right? Okay, from here there, yes, this will be duodenum, this will be ileum, and this is colon. Ascending, descending, transverse, that you all know, right? And ending at anus. Now what happens in small intestine? Small intestine is the site where the complete digestion of food will take place. What do we mean by complete digestion? No, digestion means breakdown into the simplest form. यानी simplest form मतलब कार्बोहाइड्रेट जिसका बना है उसमें टूटेगा, प्रोटीन जिसका बना है उसमें टूटेगा, फैट किसका बना है उसमें टूटेगा. That means number 1, carbs will be converted into glucose, which is a monosaccharide. Number 2, proteins will be converted into amino acids. Number 3, fats will be converted into, क्या लिखोगे? Fatty acids and glycerol. Fatty acid plus glycerol. Don't simply write fatty acid. दोनों आए पैकेज में, fatty acid and glycerol. ये कहाँ पे कंप्लीट होगा? डिओडेनम. अब ये होगा कैसे? होगा कैसे? इसको कौन हेल्प करेगा? Okay. Now how it is done in? Now see. First of all, so we have done one gland, that is salivary gland. 2 glands are left. What was that? First of all, liver. Right? Second is pancreas. Pancreas. Liver produces and bile juice is stored in gallbladder. This was the question asked, right? Gallbladder function was asked, and to my surprise, I got many funny answers. Bladder is not only urinary bladder, children, it's gallbladder. So what you have to remember? Liver produces bile, and gallbladder stores it. So gallbladder will release bile. Now this bile has 2 functions. Bile के 2 important functions है. Number 1 is, now imagine the food which is coming from stomach is acidic in nature due to HCl, but the enzymes present in small intestine, they do not function in acidic medium. तो सबसे पहला काम क्या करना है? Acidic medium को alkaline में change करना है. That is the function of bile. Bile has bicarbonate salts. salts which convert acidic chyme into alkaline. This is one function. And second very important function, how you have to write emulsification of fat. Emulsification of fat. That means breaking the larger fat globules into the smaller one, right? So that the enzymes can easily act on them. This is the function of bile produced by liver, stored in gallbladder. Fine. Now, second one is pancreas. Pancreas produces what? Pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice again many a times asked. MCQ में भी. First enzyme कौन सी है? Amylase. Now amylase was also present in saliva, right? So there it was known as salivary amylase. यहाँ पे इसको क्या बोलेंगे? Pancreatic amylase. What it will act on? Say starch, that is carbohydrate, and convert them into, now the digestion is completed, glucose. Second, pepsin की cousin है trypsin. इसमें भी बहुत क्वेश्चन आते हैं, differentiate between pepsin and trypsin. दोनों प्रोटीन डाइजेस्टिंग एंजाइम है. फर्स्ट डिफरेंस, पेप्सिन इज प्रेजेंट इन स्टमक, requires what type of medium? Acid. Trypsin is present in, it's a pancreatic juice enzyme, right, acting in duodenum and requires alkaline medium, right, but will act on proteins and convert them into amino acids. Third is lipase. Lipase acts on fat and converts them into fatty acids and glycerol. Fine. Now we can see the digestion is completed. And one more thing, intestinal juice also contributes. It has 3 enzymes not given in NCERT: peptidase, lipase, right? Protein digesting, fat digesting, and carbohydrate. Protease, maltase acts on maltose and converts them into monosaccharides. So not in NCERT, you can skip at this moment. So now what has happened? Digestion has been completed in small intestine. Fine, completed, right? Now what happens in large intestine? Absorption of water, so that the food is, whatever is undigested food is converted into semi-solid form and expelled by anus. And that process is known as excretion. Excretion? No, it is known as egestion. See, there is difference between egestion and excretion. Excretion is removal of nitrogenous waste. Got it? Whereas egestion is removal of undigested food. Clear? Fine. Now next step is absorption. For that, what is present in small intestine? Villi, which increases the finger-like projections, increases the surface area for absorption. Clear? Right? Can you see? All this is there. Acidic medium, mucus protects. Fine. Now one more question which has been asked about the sphincters. Sphincters. Can you see the sphincters? One sphincter is here and the other one is two sphincters are present. What are sphincters? Sphincters are circular muscles. One is present at the exit, that is colon and rectum and anus, and one is from between small intestine and stomach and small intestine, right? So two sphincters are present. So again, this has been also asked for your board question. Clear? So all things are clear. Trypsin, pepsin, right? All the enzymes, bile. This one. Exit of food from stomach is regulated by sphincter muscles. So presence of two sphincters. which regulate the movement of food. One is between the stomach and the small intestine. स्टमक थोड़ा थोड़ा करके खाना छोड़ता है स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन में, सारा एक साथ नहीं छोड़ता है. एंड लास्ट में बिटवीन द रेक्टम एंड द एनस. क्लियर? सो दिस कंप्लीट्स योर heterotrophic nutrition and very important nutrition in animals. And I think this activity again competency based question, right? Whenever you get any type of this question, start making the diagram or a figure or a flow chart. Like they have said, take 2 test tubes, label them as A, label them as B. You have to take saliva in both, saliva in test tube A, right? And in both you have to take starch, starch दोनों में, right? और A में क्या डाल दिया? सलाइवा डाल दिया. और क्या टेस्ट करना है दोनों में? आयोडीन से टेस्ट करना है. क्या होगा? A में क्या होगा? नो ब्लू ब्लैक कलर, नो चेंज. Whereas यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? ब्लू ब्लैक कलर, because what is present? Starch is present. Iodine turns starch into blue black. But यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? When you have added saliva, saliva में क्या था? Salivary amide, जिसने starch को किसमें convert कर दिया? Sugar में. And sugar does not give blue black color with the iodine. Understood this question? Right? I'm going a bit fast, but again, you cannot leave any activity because these are only your competency-based questions. Shall we? One more question is which is asked. Long intestine. Herbivores, carnivores. Herbivores. Carnivores have shorter small intestine, whereas herbivores have longer small intestine, because they require cellulose to digest. Meat is easy to digest. Now can you see hens? हो गया ना तुम्हारा assertion reason का question. जहाँ पे भी hence है, so है, therefore है, right? तो length पे भी questions आ जाए. Shall we? This completes the digestion. Respiration, right? Again, live water turns carbon dioxide milky. Like if you take this test tube, उसमें आप फूंक मारो, that means you are blowing carbon dioxide, and थोड़ी देर बाद ये मिल्की हो जाता है. तो इसमें क्या किया इन्होंने? एक में पिचकारी से कर रहे हैं, एक से मुंह से कर रहे हैं. पिचकारी से कर रहे हैं मतलब विच कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज एंटरिंग एटमॉस्फेयर का. मुंह से कर रहे हैं तो व्हाटएवर वी आर एक्सहेलिंग, किस में CO2 का कंटेंट ज्यादा है? एटमॉस्फेयर में कि व्हाटएवर वी एक्सहेल, that is more carbon dioxide content. So this will turn milky faster as compared to this. So what does this experiment show? कि atmospheric, you know the atmospheric carbon dioxide I think 0.3%, right? And whatever we exhale, that is much more than the atmospheric carbon dioxide. So air being passed into live water and pichkari. Now this one also, see, take some fruit juice or sugar solution and add yeast, right? See this, you can solve this. Test tube, इसमें क्या लिया? Yeast प्लस, जैसे ही क्वेश्चन आता है मेक अ डायग्राम, प्लस शुगर. तो ईस्ट क्या करेगा? शुगर इज अ कार्बोहाइड्रेट. ईस्ट क्या करेगा? रेस्पायर, यानी एनारोबिक रेस्पिरेशन, यानी कि दिस इज आल्सो नोन एज फर्मेंटेशन. तो ये एक्टिविटी देकर के मैं तो कई क्वेश्चंस फ्रेम कर सकती हूँ. आई कैन आस्क अबाउट द मोड ऑफ रेस्पिरेशन इन द ऑर्गेनिज्म, व्हाट आर इट्स एंड प्रोडक्ट्स, व्हाट आर द एंड प्रोडक्ट्स ऑफ एनारोबिक रेस्पिरेशन इन ईस्ट? इथाइल अल्कोहल एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. तो इन्होंने क्या बोला? टेक अ कॉर्क, राइट, विथ अ बेंड ग्लास ट्यूब. ये बेंड ग्लास ट्यूब, और इसको किसमें डालना है? अ टेस्ट ट्यूब कंटेनिंग freshly prepared lime water. So what will be evolved? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, और ये लाइम वाटर को क्या कर देगी, मिल्क, राइट. व्हाट डज दिस टेल अबाउट द प्रोडक्ट्स ऑफ फर्मेंटेशन? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड गैस as well as ethyl alcohol. Got it? So this entire chapter has to be read in this manner, each and every activity and each and every word. Now, very important, 3 pathways, right? This is one flow chart, but so much of content and questions can be filled. First, glucose, right? Glucose is the carbohydrate. We get the major energy from glucose. खाने में भी हमारा ज्यादा क्या होता है, carbohydrate, right? First step, we are talking about respiration. Respiration is the catabolic or anabolic? Catabolic, breakdown reactions. We are talking about photosynthesis where we are talking about the synthesis of glucose. यहाँ पे we are talking about the breakdown of glucose. So glucose, first step, if this is the cell, right? This is the nucleus, cytoplasm, and this is mitochondria, right? So glucose is broken in cytoplasm. यहाँ पे glucose break होगा. किसमें break होगा? Pyruvate. तो 6 कार्बन किसमें break हो गया? 3 कार्बन molecule, right? Plus energy. This occurs in all the organisms. Simple to simple, complex to complex. Up there are 3 possible pathways. For example, if you talk about us, what will happen? In cells, glucose is broken into pyruvate. Then this will move to your powerhouse, that is mitochondria, and will get converted into energy. So presence of oxygen. This is, we are talking about aerobic respiration. Aerobic. Products are carbon dioxide, water and energy, and please make a note, it is 38 ATP. Fine. This is about aerobic respiration. Correct? Second, which we have already discussed, absence of oxygen. Example is yeast. Right? Yeast में, अब yeast का cell कैसा है? Prokaryotic है, eukaryotic है? Prokaryotic है. That means वहाँ तो mitochondria वगैरह कुछ होगा ही नहीं. Right? So सारे parts कहाँ पे होंगे? Cytoplasm में. यहाँ पे you can see division is there. This step in cytoplasm and this step in mitochondria. यहाँ पे cytoplasm में ही होगा. Products will be ethanol, which is 2 carbon, carbon dioxide and energy. Please make a note. It is 2AT. Fine. Third special case. This is absence. This is lack. Lack मतलब नहीं है, जनरली होता है पर अभी लैकिंग है, कम है. बट अगर क्वेश्चन आता है, यू राइट ऑल द 3, राइट? बिकॉज लैक है या एब्सेंस है, एक्चुअली वो ऑक्सीजन के बिना ही हो रहा है. सो इफ इट्स 3 मार्क क्वेश्चन, राइट ऑल द 3, डू नॉट टेक एनी लेस. दैट इज द स्पेशल केस इन आवर मसल्स. जब हम बहुत ज्यादा एक्टिविटी करते हैं तो हमें एनर्जी इधर से तो मिल रही है, बट हमारे मसल्स को और एनर्जी चाहिए. मसल इज अ सेल, राइट? इन दैट केस इट स्टार्ट्स रेस्पायरिंग anaerobically, that is in lack of oxygen, and produces energy. तो हमें मिल जाती है, पर कोई भी चीज जब फ्री की होती है तो उसमें कुछ नुकसान भी होता है. क्या नुकसान होता है? हमें एक ऐसा प्रोडक्ट मिलता है लैक्टिक एसिड, जो मसल क्रैम्प्स कॉज करता है. एक्यूमुलेशन ऑफ लैक्टिक एसिड कॉजेस मस्कुलर क्रैम्प्स. बिकॉज अगर CO2 बनता तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं थी, पर CO2 की जगह क्या बनता है? लैक्टिक एसिड. So this is again many a times asked, variously asked question of the board exam. 3 pathways for breakdown of glucose by various pathways. You can see this buildup of lactic acid causes cramps. Done? Shall I? No. Again, this is the question. Many a times asked. देखो, क्या आ गया? Since. ये assertion-reason आ चुका है बोर्ड में. They are asking कि terrestrial animals की comparison में aquatic animals faster breathe करते हैं. क्यों? Because amount of oxygen dissolved in water is less as compared to air. So rate of breathing in aquatic organism is much faster, right, as seen in terrestrial. Again, this is a PYQ. रीजनिंग क्वेश्चन में भी आया है, एमसीक्यू में भी आ सकता है, और assertion reason में तो अच्छे से ये क्वेश्चन. Got it? So all these. Now coming to your respiratory system, right? Respiratory system starting from nasal passage, right? Trachea. Trachea. What is present? Trachea is a windpipe, and its collapse is prevented by C-shaped cartilaginous rings. These cartilaginous rings, C-shaped, they are incomplete, right? They prevent the, which tissue is there? Cartilage. You studied in 9th. Prevents the collapse. ये windpipe है. अगर इसमें हवा नहीं है, ये collapse हो जाएगा, right? So what prevents the collapse? What provides the support? Cartilage rings, right? And these cartilage rings are also present in bronchi and bronchioles as well, right? So trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and ultimately alveoli, and these are enclosed inside the lungs, right? And this entire structure is protected by rib cage. And here we have a dome-shaped muscle known as diaphragm, which plays an important role in breathing. Breathing is a part of respiration. Can you see this is dome-shaped, right? And these muscles are present here, known as intercostal muscles. So first case, inspiration, inhale. Inhale, you know, pressure is inversely proportional to volume, right? So inhale कर रहे हो, क्या चीज दिमाग में रखना है, तुम air अंदर ले रहे हो. So that means air will move from high to low. इधर क्या है? Low, right? That means pressure is low. That means volume is more. How is that created? This diaphragm becomes flattened, pulled down. Intercostal muscles push the rib cage out and up, and as a result there is increase in the volume, and therefore the decrease in pressure, and hence the atmospheric air rushes inside the your thoracic chamber. That is known as inhalation. और exhalation में इसका उल्टा, diaphragm will relax, वापस से dome shape, intercostal muscles will relax, वापस से pushing the rib cage in and down, and as a result क्या हो गया? Volume कम तो pressure more. So here high pressure, here low pressure, and it will be thrown out. Clear to some extent? Yes. And alveoli, they are extremely thin balloon-shaped structures. More the number of alveoli, more is the surface area provided for exchange of gases. यानी जब हमने air अंदर लिया, ऑक्सीजन किधर आ गया? Alveolus में, इधर से इधर. Alveoli are surrounded by blood capillaries, and they will diffuse from alveoli into the blood capillaries. और पूरा blood उसको transport करेगा. And same way blood will bring back carbon dioxide. किसमें diffuse करेगा? Alveoli में, and it will be moved out. Clear? Now. See this information. Alveoli कितने सारे हैं, अगर उसको तुम spread करो, पूरा एक टेनिस कोर्ट भर जाएगा. Now coming to transpiration. ये डायग्राम याद है सबको बनाना? किसको नहीं याद है? You all know this? हाँ या ना? How to start? Heart, left, right. Auricle, ventricle. This is lungs, right? From lungs, right? Incoming. What is present here? Two valves known as bicuspid. Remember, blood will move here, and from here it will be carried by aorta. As told, तुम्हारे 99% क्वेश्चंस इससे सॉल्व होंगे, राइट? And it will break into arterioles, then blood capillaries. They will join to form venules, vena cava. So what are the two incoming blood vessels? One is vena cava. Another one is pulmonary vein. Already you know, arteries carry oxygenated blood, veins carry deoxygenated blood. तो यहाँ पे बोलोगे गलत लिखा है, नहीं सही लिखा है. अब सही कैसे? What is the definition of artery? It carries blood from heart to organs, and veins carry from organs to heart. तो lung क्या है? Organ. So organ to heart, it's a vein, justified. And pulmonary, anything associated with lungs, we can use the term pulmonary, right? Vena cava. Now, this blood will enter here. From here, it will move to the lungs. And again, this is pulmonary artery. Justified because it is carrying blood from heart to organ. Right? So simply you have to remember the two incoming blood vessels which bring blood into the heart. One is pulmonary vein, another is vena cava. Remember, both are bringing blood into the atria. Correct? Ventricles में कोई blood vessel आ नहीं रही है, departure है, right? Ventricles get blood only from the adjacent chambers, that is atria, right? Two outgoings, one is aorta, other one is vena cava. Aorta carries blood from heart to all the body organs, one by one, right? And vena cava carry blood from body organs back to the heart, and this is known as double circulation. One circulation between heart, lungs, back to the heart. This is pulmonary. This is heart and body organs, which is known as systemic circulation. Fine? Clear it? Can you draw this with the help of this? Easily? Hi Anna. If you remember, कैसे किया था? Yes, heart. Right? और इसको shift किया, slightly tilt किया towards the left. Draw the septum. राइट यहाँ पे क्या आ गया तुम्हारा बाइकस्पिड वॉल, यहाँ पे तुम्हारा आ गया ट्राइकस्पिड वॉल, ये तुम्हारे एट्रिया, ये तुम्हारे वेंट्रिकल, लेफ्ट लेफ्ट राइट एंड राइट. फाइन. अब क्या बनाना है? इनकमिंग. इनकमिंग तुम्हारी कौन सी हो गई? पल्मोनरी वेन, राइट. दूसरी इनकमिंग वेना के बाद दो है, one bringing the blood from the upper body organs and the lower. तो ये क्या हो गई? Superior vena cava, and this is inferior. Right? Incoming हो गए. Outgoing के लिए क्या करना है? T, right, and S, right? S ये तुम्हारा और ये T तुम्हारा. Fine. Now, about the blood circulation. Blood is brought by the pulmonary vein, right, from left auricle to left ventricle and back to this one, right? Fine. And this one from here, 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 and you have to see the direction. That is important. Incoming and out. ठीक है? Now one very important question. ये कितनी बार आ चुका है इसका कोई काउंट नहीं है. Why there is no, can you see this diagram? Here you can see oxygenated one side, deoxygenated on the other side. Why there is no mixing of blood? उसका reason क्या है? In our body we have high energy needs to maintain constant body temperature. We are warm blooded. Our body temperature remains constant to 37 degree centigrade. बाहर तुम्हारा माइनस में टेम्परेचर है, बॉडी को कितना रखना है? 37. बाहर 50 डिग्री है, बॉडी को कितना रखना है? So our temperature does not change with the change in environment, right? To maintain that we have high energy needs. So that is the reason the separation of right side and left side is useful to keep oxygenated and deoxygenated blood from mixing, and that ensures high efficient supply of oxygen to the body. ये किसमें पाया जाता है? Mammals as well as birds. Got my point? And fishes have only two-chambered hearts. So their blood is pumped to the gills, oxygenated and passed to the rest of the body. So this is double circulation. And please, schematic representation of transport and exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. I think easily you can interpret this diagram. Yes? See? What is this chamber? Can you see? Left atrium, because lungs, pulmonary vein, right? And then aorta. Right? See. Oh. अभी दो तो उधर हो गए.
इस चैप्टर को अटेंड कर लो.
हाँ, ठीक. Point children? Okay. So how we will identify direction? See if this chamber is there, right? You can see it is moving out, right? So which is this chamber? Left ventricle. Left ventricle से कौन सी निकल रही थी? Aorta. So this is right capillaries है, correct? This is vena cava, easy. अब ये देखो डायरेक्शन, ये चेंबर है, इससे कौन सी निकलती है? Pulmonary artery. Easy. So direction is very important. Arrow is very, very important. Clear? Right? So this has been done, right? So please revise this much. We'll continue, right? Do not panic. It's very. I think now you have gained the confidence already. Just do your best. Give your best.